All right. In my last live stream, I was just making fun of the fact that I begin every video and live stream with "All right." Um, whatever. Maybe it's my new tagline. Okay. Don't really want it to be my new tagline because that's kind of a lame tagline, but whatever. Let me share my screen here. Solomon project, based off of uh, Alex Ramos's. I'm not going to go over it. You can watch my last one. It's a texting style app, and it's going to allow you to text yourself. And basically, you can pose a question or situation and then pretend like your future self trying to help an answer, because ultimately you have the most context for how to solve your problems. And there's everyone knows that most people don't need to know anything different to solve their problems. Like most people already know how to solve their problems. They just need to remind themselves that they need to do it. So yeah, that's what this is. Writing down a few thoughts I want it to do, the tech stack, and then my implementation like strategy, which in this case is I want to build this in iterations. The first iteration, which I'll write down here. Actually, yeah. Iterations. Iteration one will just be, basic React app with or using local storage. No real device styles. Or, well, I guess I just want to say, like, only use out of the box UI components. There we go. And then we'll kind of continue as we go and have different iterations. Let's change this to. Oh, that's not what I want. All right. So, yeah, I think that's the plan. So let's just go ahead and get set up on this. I'm going to open up GitHub off to the side, just because I don't know if there's going to be anything that I'll accidentally leak in terms of personal data or whatever. I do have my own GitHub account specifically tied to, all tied to the same email that this YouTube channel is on, so it's not like my personal email. But probably not a great habit to get into, just throwing stuff up out to the ether. Sorry, just getting logged in. Password. Side note: if none of you, if you've never used a password manager before, highly recommend, especially with how often people are getting hacked nowadays, and the whole social security number data breach. Like everyone's social security number is out there. Somewhat recently, it's getting a little ridiculous. So, yeah, definitely get one. I use a 1Password. I think it's fantastic. I've used LastPass, Bitwarden, which is like a nerdy tech bro password manager, and then now 1Password. I think 1Password is the best. It's like in terms of being easy enough for the average person to use, but also giving you some cool options for someone who likes to get it fancy on the technical side. If you're like real technical, and when I say that, like Linux, hopping on, like really getting down to the weeds on like Windows systems, you hate Mac because it's too tied down or whatever. Like yeah, and maybe if you like being in the terminal and back, then you're also technical enough. Bitwarden's great. You can do a lot of cool things with that. Open source, all of that. Only nerds. But for 99% of people, and even myself as a software developer, I didn't see this necessary. Or I think 1Password has more qualities of life, options and features and whatnot. All right, I'm into my account. Just pull this over here. Ooh. There we go. Here's my GitHub. This is just a little habit tracker that I have not finished. As you can see, there is no nothing there. So we'll just go ahead and create a new repository. If it will load, there we go. And we'll call this Solomon. Yeah, I guess just Solomon project. A chat app based on Alex Hormozi. I'm trying to think of like Alex Hormozi's like description of his chats with Solomon or something like that. Framework for like self therapist session. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, we'll leave it as public, let everyone see, throw in a README. What kind of get ignored templates do we have? I guess visual, no. This doesn't seem very helpful. They don't even have C#. Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll just leave it as none. License. I don't know anything about licenses, so we're just going to leave it as none. Cool. Repository. I'm going to pull it off to the side. Oh wait, no. For some reason, I was thinking there would be some data that didn't, or some sort of passwords or whatever shown. All right, sweet. There we go. Project Solomon created. I like to create my new repositories in whatever application I'm using to host, so whether that's GitHub or Azure Pipelines or Bitbucket or whatever. I think it makes it a little easier to do that and then connect to it. So I actually haven't used GitHub that much. I don't know much about the layout with code, issues, pull requests, actions, projects. Like, what the heck is a project compared to code? Maybe this is how you track all the issues. I would guess. Anyway, sorry I keep having to clear my throat. We got some minute. We're gonna go ahead and clone this. I always forget if it's worth it to do, or like, yeah, HTTPS versus SSH and the differences. So I'm just gonna go ahead and click here and see. I think I usually do over HTTPS just because I don't want to deal with making an SSH key, but Okay. When you do any git uh, commit push pull fetch with remote repository using HTTPS on the command line, Git will ask for your GitHub username and password, and Git prompts you enter your personal access token. Alternatively, you can use credential helper. Password-based authentication has been removed in Factor for more secure. Okay, so we probably want to do SSH because that means that we don't have to enter our password every time. Just reading a little more here. Here's a Git credential helper. They were talking about that can remember your passwords for you. I think 1Password does this by default, which I'm going to open up in a different window or screen. Oh, that's okay. It didn't show any personal data. Yeah, 1Password already does that. It looks like I've got an SSH key. I think this is for. Oh, this is for. I am Isaac Ludlow GitHub. Cool. Looks like I've already got it all set up. So we're going to go ahead and. Whoops, I didn't mean to close that. Yeah, okay. Got a little messed up here. We're going to go ahead and clone this over SSH. And pull up my Visual Studio Code. I like to use the inbuilt terminal. I think it just makes everything a little cleaner. And I have everything that I need for coding in one window. I don't like having a bunch of windows that I have to bounce between for coding. I'd rather have it all in VS Code. I'm going to go ahead and clear. And I'm going to do this on a different window. Okay. Code spaces. Interesting. We're going to go ahead and do a git clone, pass the URL, and no, okay, I guess I don't have any keys. So I guess we'll go ahead and add a public key. For some reason, I was thinking I did. Or at least there is one in my 1Password account. Sweet. All right. Obviously, I'm going to be doing this off screen. We'll title it as, I don't know, Isaac. It's just I am Isaac Ludlow. Projects. I don't know. I think that key might have been on a different GitHub account. I'm going to open up my other personal account and just check to see settings, see if I've got a SSH key. I guess not. Interesting. I'm looking to see how to generate one because right now it's not giving me that option to generate. It's just like, oh, enter your SSH key here. Where do I get it? Geez, this seems like a lot. It's just very new to me. Maybe I should just clone over HTTPS instead. All right, here's what we're going to do. We can do cloning repo HTTPS. Oh, there we go. Versus SSH. All right, we'll open up this and this. I'm going to use SSH to connect to GitHub or some sorts of code, source code forge. Sometimes if I'm cloning a repository that will be read-only, like a service or project, I'll use HTTPS. In my opinion, using SSH makes working and contributing to projects more comfortable, as you don't have to type in your username every time you want to push SSH key. Obviously, you need to have access to the key every time you want to push or clone, which is not practical if you want to simply deploy a project without accessing your key. This is why cloning SSH for a few reasons. Okay, it sounds like everyone's wanting to do SSH. Slightly more resilient to middle attacks, more flexible. Okay. Everyone says SSH, so we'll go with that. Where were the docs on how to do that? Yeah, there's how I got to it. Okay. Now let me go back though. Cache to it. There we go. See if I have a SSH config file real quick. Looks like I do, and I set my SSH agent to 1Password. So it's going to automatically check 1Password for that. So that's good. That's what I want. I think I'll just mark this. Looks like I have this URL in. Yeah, what the heck? That's where it says like this key was generated at. see if I already have the SSH keys. Looks like I do. Total 40? That doesn't seem right. How do I have 40? And where are those coming from? No, I don't have any of those. All right, the current key that I have, I'm going to archive that. And then I can just generate a new key in in 1Password. Interesting. That's probably what I did then. Yes, I'm still coding. Give me like 10 minutes. Okay. Let's see if this works. So I'll come here, add in a new SSH key. I don't know if I copy the public key or the private key. I would guess public, but I'm not sure. No, paste your public key. Okay. And then for the title of the key, it was saying to talk about the device that it's on, because the key can be used for multiple things, it sounds like. So I'm going to go ahead and just say Mac Pro in my 1Password, and I think we'll just call it the same thing. Yeah. All right, that's added. Sweet, got an email about it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot more reading about SSH and how that all works. Okay, we'll just leave. Sorry, just trying to make sure I don't spill beans on anything. Okay. We've got project. Let's try this again. Get clone. I don't know why it's doing that. Yeah, I know it's a bad pattern, but why is it cloning it like, or copying it like that? There it is. I don't know what happened there. Look at that. And it's wanting to use, I'm just gonna stop share quick just to do this since I've never done it before. Authorization details allow code, which would be VS Code, to use SSH key. I'm Isaac Ludlow, GitHub MacBook Pro until unlocks the private key won't be shared and never leaves local. Very cool. I'm gonna go ahead and hit yes. I think this is where I would need to use my like passphrase. Let me share my screen again and I'll explain what I was thinking. So after that pop-up hit, I just looked at the description popped down that it said, and then I used my fingerprint or your password to say yes. I think normally what would happen is, yeah, you'd have to enter in your passphrase. Yeah, anyway, okay, so now we are cloned, and I'm gonna guess that got pulled into. Oh crap! I got pulled in there. That's not what I wanted. Okay. Let me open a new Finder window, and we're just gonna move this outside. There we go. Then we'll go ahead and open folder. And open the Solomon project. From local test. Quickly just save that, and I just want to make sure that first local commit test. Just make sure that I can commit. Yes. Oh, perfect. Just wanted me to make sure that I set my user and email. That's exactly what I want, because I don't want to be making git commits with the wrong email. So that's going to be set git config username and email. I forget the exact git config. I'm not going to include the -- global. Because I don't want it to be global. I just want it to be local to this repo. Set it to Isaac Ludlow, and then git config email, user.email. We'll set that to be I am Isaac Ludlow at gmail.com. Sweet. Okay. That should allow me to commit now. No private key found for specified public key. Okay, I'll have to do some digging on this, obviously, because I don't know much about that. So I'll go to end the stream here. And yeah, we'll pick it back up on this tomorrow. See you guys.